Morning, good people. Ah, 2 days away. I'm letting y'all listen to a few grooves that are going to be on the upcoming project made right here in my basement. It feels good when when you do it yourself. I actually might have Law Nation jump on a little bit. What's up, Christian? My day one, Christian. Christian is literally one of my best friends in the whole wide world. We play youth football together. It's my homie. Donnell, what's up? Another one of my day one. Shout out to you. C. Pickering, how are you? Steve, what's up? Beautiful Saturday, beautiful vibes. Hope y'all are enjoying your family, all that type of stuff. Crazy thing about Christian is this is a crazy story, right? His dad had a drum set. So like his dad is like legit the reason why I play drums now. His dad had a drum set when I was a kid, and I used to always spend the night over Christian's house. Like when I tell y'all we close, like we're like very close. And I used to go to his house all the time, and he had this CB drum set, a blue drum set, and I used to go downstairs and play on it. And then now, like this is my kit now. This is my kit now, Christian. Like, studio setup over here, my amp, preamps, all that type of stuff. It's like it's crazy how you could take some from beautiful. Yeah, Steven. So you can listen to my music. It's Foots times Coles. That's it. Everywhere on Cowboys. I mean on iTunes, Apple Music, all that type of stuff. SoundCloud, and it's crazy because this is a lot of unreleased music that is not mixed right now, but we're gonna drop it here shortly. So I might have Law Nation jump on. Might get Vach on here, but I'm ready to talk Cowboys, y'all. I feel really good about this game. Y'all let me know. Y'all let me know what you think. This groove crazy. I just feel like we really just about to do that I feel like I was really upset after the Tampa Bay game, and now I just feel like, you know what? I just feel like Dak and Mike are just gonna have a game. Let's get into it. Yeah, that's an unreleased joint right there. It's called Baggage Claim. Performed by me, written, all that type of stuff. How y'all doing this morning, man? I feel really good. I feel really good. I think that what's happened over the last week has been everybody has ran to the Buccaneers bandwagon. And I think that that's a beautiful thing. I think that Dallas. Yep. Thank you, Donald. Thank you for that, man. I think that Dallas can use some of that. I think that everybody's ran to the Buccaneers bandwagon, rightfully so. And the reason why I say rightfully so is the only thing that Dallas has been consistent with is being inconsistent. And they still managed to get 12 wins with the injuries that they had and this, that, and the third. So news really quickly, it sounds like Leighton Vander Esch is going to play. It sounds like Tyler Biadasz is going to play, which that's like huge. Like I don't think that people realize just how good of a season Biadasz had, and how he anchored this line. And there was a clear difference with Connor McGovern at center. Now it wasn't like it didn't. It's not what lost you the game, but it matters. And so you get McGovern back, and that's a great thing. And then The big one in the headliner that nobody's going to talk about is Jonathan Hankins. Um, Jonathan Hankins, I think, could win you this game if for nothing else that you need to get time. We'll get into this offense, right? You need to get Tom Brady to third and distance. What's third and distance? Third and 7, third and 8. You need to get Tom Brady to those situations to where now he's forced to do now he's forced to be great in the passing game. And I think that that's where you get I think that that's where you get Tom off your spot. I think that's where you have to get Tom off his spot. Excuse me. Micah Parsons is an All Pro. Zach Martin is an All Pro. Shout out to them. Can we just I know that we're in the moment and it's playoffs, but can we just do clap emojis for this front office? Think about this for a second, y'all. Think about just how much early production we get out of our draft picks. And somebody said it earlier in the chat, Foot's draft season is right around the corner. But just think about that, right? Like Micah Parsons, 2 years in the league, 2 years All Pro, not Pro Bowl, not like a good career, All Pro, first team. CeeDee Lamb, third year in the league, second year All Pro, and I really think that CeeDee Lamb really would have hit his stride earlier had he just been the one. But obviously, you had a market, and this isn't an Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb debater. I know you guys. I know there's a lot of Cowboys fans who miss Coop, and I miss Coop as well in the whole nine. But also, I feel like sometimes growth can be blocked. I think that growth was blocked between Jason Witten and Dalton Schultz, and now you're in a situation where you'll probably end up losing Schultz next year. But then you have Fergie and you have Henny and those types of situations. But then look about Sam Williams. Think about think about there we go. Clap emojis. Thanks, y'all. Think about Sam Williams for a second. Like Sam Williams comes in, he gives you immediate production. Like that's huge. Think about DaRon Bland, y'all. Think about DaRon Bland, 5th round pick. And although we kind of it's time to be real. We missed on Kelvin Joseph. Kelvin Joseph, up until this point, by Cowboy standards, has been a bust. But you erase that with DaRon Bland, right? So, yes, thank you, Darnell. Like the stream. Darnell is one of my admins. Make sure that you guys like the stream. Make sure that you guys share the stream. Make sure that you guys send it around to your cousin, auntie, uncle, and the whole nine. So, attacking this, and when I say it, that's why I said attacking this offense, attacking this defense, attacking this Tampa Bay offense. Oh, and by the way, I don't think enough was said about the game that Chauncey Golston played against Washington. I've been calling for him, especially on early downs. He just has a feel for how to play against the run. Went to Iowa. He plays with his hands so well. He'll stack, he'll shed. He just has a feel. He loves to stick his nose in there. Like if it's one area with this defense that I want to get better, and we don't know if we'll lose Quinn or whatever the case may have you. If there's one area that I want this defense to get better with, it's playing the run. And it's more or less fitting the run. And it's kind of like protecting Micah Parsons. And so that's definitely one area. And I think that, for Golston, who's gotten limited reps this year, I think that he has something. I don't know what. He doesn't have quite the twitch, but he's a huge human being. He has long arms. And I just think that, I really want to see Golston on the field more in the upcoming year, because he's not one of these DNs that just flies upfield. You can even play him at the 3. He really, he legit is. I just love the way he plays the run. I'm that's one of my big pet peeves as a coach. Like so many of these DNs, they want sacks. But like, I don't know if y'all noticed, but like trends are changing. Trends always kind of change in the league, and like teams are starting to get back to running the ball. I think teams are kind of looking at the numbers, and it's like, well, you know, I don't. You can't just run the ball. I mean, you can't just throw the ball 40 times a game, 40, 45 times a game. Like you can, but like it's only like a couple quarterbacks who can really sustain that. So teams are starting to get back to running the ball. And then you got to have defensive players and athletes who want to really give their all to stop it. So Lamont, thank you so much. Super chat. Thank you, Lamont. Do you think that Rhodes can cover Julio? I haven't seen Rhodes play. Lamont, I don't want to give you an answer that's just like fluff. I'm gonna be honest. Like Julio didn't play bad in the first game that we played them, and I thought Julio was kind of washed and over the hill. So right now, I'm gonna say no. Like you're getting nothing but honesty from me, Lamont. I don't think that. I think that Rhodes is a savvy vet, but we just got to see him get some good reps and get some confidence. Listen to Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn said, "Hey, we're gonna try different lineups." I think some of the Mullen, I think Mullen playing as much as he did was literally to see and just get his sea legs on the edge and to see how he did. I think Dallas kind of had that plan, and that kind of goes to people thinking and believing like, oh yeah, they didn't really take this game serious, because it was clear that Mullen played extended reps, even though he was getting beat a lot and doing some weird things. So who knows there? King Marquise, thank you, bro. At work, just listening. So I'm just listening. Keep going first. Thanks, homie. Shout out to you. Definitely one of my admins as well. Much love to you, bro. Everybody make sure they like, share, subscribe, and let's keep the party going. I'm concerned about Rose. Yeah, for sure. I am too. But at this point, you have one guy. Somebody's gonna have to grow up and play with some confidence at this point. Like, there's the NFL. You're gonna be playing against like everybody on the road to where you're trying to go, which is the Super Bowl. And this team has enough. If they put it all together, this team has enough. I'm gonna say it again. I'm looking at the mic. I'm not even gonna look at y'all. I'm looking at the mic. The Dallas Cowboys have enough if they put it all together. Period. Nothing will. They go out and hang 40 on Tampa Bay. Wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. They got to put it together though. Hey, we'll get to that, Serge. We're gonna start draft talk here. Hopefully not soon, but let me keep my eye on some players and some athletes, and we'll definitely get to that. But to me, your other cornerback position, hey, like figure it out. Somebody has to play and play well, and I think they will. All right, guys, jump in the chat. What is your plan to attack this Bucs offense? Notice I said attack their defense. I want to attack this offense as well. I don't want to stop. It was like, people, let's get stopped. No, let's attack them. What are we doing? What are we doing? How are we getting at the time? We're going odd, even fronts. Are we blitzing? Are we sending pressure? What do you guys want to do? Talk to me. What do you guys want to do? I have my ideas, but I want to get more interactive with Chatbox, and I want to know, hey, what does Chatbox want to do? Pressure. Okay, I like that. Pressure. So let's look at that talking point, pressure, right? And I've seen it a lot. The thing that scares me about pressure, and I think I think the one thing that I would do, and I love this point, the one thing that I would do is with them getting Smith and having both their tackles healthy, Wirfs is healthy, but I do think that Wirfs still would struggle with Micah. I do believe that, but I like pressure in Tom's face, and so John Mayberry just said it. Miss Pickering, AC Pickering. I think that Tom just said it. I think that we have to put Micah in Tom's face because their guard is not good. Now, watching film, I was watching a few games, and I just see him in Tom's lap a lot. And so I'm like, okay, he's the one. He's the link. He's the weak link. It's like that Eagles line, like that Eagles O line, like they really don't have a lot of weak links. I'll be honest with you. Like I hate the Eagles, but I got to be real. They don't have a lot of weak links. But Tampa Bay does. Hence why we got to be honest. Hence why Tampa Bay has struggled a lot. So I like what John. So I love when Chatbox. This is why I love y'all. Chatbox does a great job of answering these questions. Pressure. Yes. What type of pressure? I love what John is saying. I want Sam Williams and D-Law blitzing on the edge, and then I think Sam is saying have them two on the edge, and then have Micah on it. Yes. Y'all, I'm gonna say this about DeMarcus Lawrence, and we're gonna talk. This is all our defense today, right? We did the offense show. If you didn't see the offensive show, go check out the channel. It's on the channel. We did the offensive show. It was a really good show. Went for about an hour. It's Saturday. I got to get up and do some things before these games come on. I'm gonna be locked in, like football purists. Like I'm gonna watch football from 4:30 until 11 o'clock at night. Micah up to A gap, yes, because can Tampa move the pocket? No, they can get that ball out quick. That's what Tom wants to do. He wants to go quick game, and then Dan, you have to notice. DBs have to notice. I'm not mad at DBs taking a chance. Tom has thrown some picks this year, y'all. Some goofy ones. Tom has made some goofy plays. If you go back and you watch that Cincinnati game, it wasn't clean. They were up, and they started doing some goofy stuff. What Tampa wants to do and what Byron Leftwich wants to do is, vertical passing game. And, when you hear Mike Evans say if they're running cover one, I would love that. Well, Mike, that's great, and you guys have been okay, but let's not act like, this passing attack has been just outstanding. And it's even better when you can get home, and that's why you have to stop them on early downs with their running attack. Now, Rashad White has pretty much everything but overtaken Leonard Fournette as the starter. But they will, quote unquote, playoff Lenny, whatever. They will try to get Lenny going downhill. So you got to handle that first. But then when you get to distance, third and distance, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 9, whatever, sometimes it's not even about getting a sack with Tom. Just make him uncomfortable. When things start getting goofy around his feet, Tom starts throwing. He'll gutter ball it because he's not an athlete. I mean, he's 46 years old, and that's not a knock on his age. It is, but he he's not gonna create off script or anything like that. So this is really good, John Mayberry. I'm sending persons. Other than that, I'm not blitzing Tom Brady. All right, so why, Donnell? And I think there is a why that we can really talk about. I think the why for me to not blitz Tom is if he has the information pre-snap, then he's just gonna check. It's just chess with him. He's just gonna check out of it. If he has the information pre-snap, and so it just comes down to, you're gonna have to execute. You're gonna have to execute. Like there's no other way about it. You are going to have to execute because and that's the thing, I know. Like this is good devil's advocate. These are the conversations that in that meeting room. Hey, Well, if you start blitzing, you start getting carried away and you start giving up because what Tom and what if you know anything about football, you throw into the blitz. And so and this is good them not having a Gronk anymore. But well, if you start blitzing up the middle, what Tom's gonna do is just throw the ball over the middle of the field. He'll just post Gronk up. He'll run Gronk up the seams. He'll do all sorts of things like that. And it's like, well, you start using resources to blitz. If you don't get home and it's a big play or it's a catch, it could get goofy. You get what I'm saying to you? So you got to be careful with that. So I'm not mad at what Donnell is saying. Um, and I think that these guys need to take it up a little bit. To me, everything starts with stopping the run first. And I know that this running offense, this run attack isn't great, but everything starts with stopping the run. You stop the run, things will start looking a lot better for you. People will just miraculously start covering, like things will start looking better. But you have to stop the run first. You have to stop the run. And truth be told, other guys have to win besides DeMarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons. Like I'm so like DeMarcus Lawrence, this team wouldn't be this team without DeMarcus Lawrence. Like, can I just be honest with y'all? This team will not be this team without DeMarcus Lawrence. Like he is so underrated, man. He is. I think you have to bring him back. Like he's earned that right. D-Law plays the run like a demon, still gets after the quarterback. Had a sneaky underrated year. So anyway, D-Law, just sneaky underrated year, guys. I really believe that part of it. So now, wouldn't y'all love to have Deron Payne? You see that he's a free agent this year. Wouldn't y'all love to have him just sit in the middle of our defense moving forward? Oh man, like I would legit love that. Oh, I would love to have Deron Payne. But anyway, so gotta stop the run. Hankins is back. LVE is back. Now, with LVE, you better know, and Clark has been playing good, but with LVE, you better know, like, hey, what he'll help you with in the run game, understanding, like in the passing game, that Tom will try to take advantage of some things. And that's just going to be the game within the game, and you have to play the game. So it is what it is. Now I don't think we'll see Takk McKinley. I just don't think that we'll see Takk McKinley. So that's our D line so far. I'm really excited to just see how Dallas plays up front, to see the games that they play up front. I think the twist and stunts would also help. Will help fluster Tom. I don't think that you could just use the same rush all game. I really don't. I think that those things will help get Tom off his spot. And the God's honest truth is, guys, you have a better roster than Tampa Bay. You have a better team. This Tampa Bay team isn't like that San Francisco. I remember saying last year that San Francisco juggernaut. I just remember saying like, dog, they are just physical. Like they want to establish a certain type of physicality, and then they'll play off of that. Like that isn't Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is kind of hit, miss. They're kind of, and they start extremely slow. That's why it's going to be on important for Dallas to start extremely fast, because what Tampa will do is, as the game gets going, they start to figure out what, and that's when Tom starts to kind of, make magic and do it, But it's interesting. Somebody said something, and I want to talk about it. It was about Hooker on the roof. I just want to say this. That term, the roof, I should have patented that. That's a Foots term. Anybody who's been with me, I know we see it all over the Cowboys content community, but that roof term, yeah. Y'all know who really, when it comes to safeties and DBs, like that's really, really like my forte. And that roof term, man. I should have put my stamp on that, but it's definitely in the Cowboys community. It's been used a lot, and it's dope because that just uh, it's dope. All right, let's talk about the middle of the defense. Let's talk about safeties, linebackers, nickels, and then we'll talk about the back end. Let's talk about safeties, linebackers, nickels, and then we'll talk about the back end. So, Damone Clark. Let's talk about him. How do we feel about Damone Clark? Chat box. Like, no bias. How do we feel about Damone Clark? Do we feel that Damone Clark, how do we feel like Damone Clark is played? Okay. See, I feel like he's been good. I wouldn't say stellar, but I do think that he's been better than Jabril Cox was as a rookie. Um, Damone Clark better than Barr. See, that's kind of where I'm not gonna say I'm indifferent there, but like that's true. So this is a good point. Damone Hart. Damone had no training camp. He's learning on the fly in the NFL game. Yes, he is. I think, and so there you go. This is kind of the comments. These are the comments that I'm looking at right here. This is a great comment. I don't think that Damone Clark is all world just yet. There are times where I know people may not want to hear this, but I'd probably rather see Barr on the field than Clark. Um, I just think he's reacting a tick. This is very nitpicky too, by the way, y'all. This isn't me. Like Damone Clark is going to be a stud. I just think that there are times where he triggers a little slow. It's like information, plays happening. Oh, I see it, then go. But it's like, and that's just gonna come with time. I hate to do this because it's like, dog, I just remember when Sean Lee came in the league. Even when he came in the league, he was so young. But like the way he diagnosed plays, you can literally have a coach's clinic on how Sean Lee played linebacker. It's incredible. You could have a coach's clinic on how Sean Lee played linebacker. Incredible. I remember he literally Sean Lee won us the game where DeMarco Murray was in Philly. He won us that game. I'll never forget it. Like 9 tackles, like 5 for loss. I mean, it was incredible. Um, I mean, just I think that's honestly him and Luke Kuechly just kind of have what you're either born with, either you have it or you don't. But anyway, I think the Damone will be fine. Um, um, I think the Damone will be fine, but that's something that I want to watch, and that's why I said um, it's something that I want to watch in a run game because they start leaning on us. Then Houston, we have a problem because now those linebackers have to start stepping up, and then before you know it, the ball's going over your head. So we need to like when when you meet Fournette in the hole, it's like okay, play needs to stop now. Um, and so those are the things that I'm just looking at in the middle of our defense. Obviously, I think the LV will come back. They said that he's been ready, but they wanted to make sure that he was fine. And it's like, okay, LV, it's like this is it. This is the hoorah. Um, Jonathan Hankins said that he's been ready. This is the hoorah for him as well. J-Ron Curse. How do we use J-Ron Curse this game? It's such a luxury having a player like J-Ron Curse with his length, with his strength, with the way that he'll come downhill. It's such a luxury having a player like J-Ron Curse. How do we use J-Ron Curse this game? Yeah, I think that, for whatever reason, they just don't trust Jabril Cox. So it was fun while it lasted. It was, um, kind of like a one-hit wonder, but I don't think that he really has a future on this team, Jabril Cox. I think the Dallas will probably draft another linebacker this year. I'll be completely honest. Um, make him look. Yeah, I know. And you know what, Kofi? I could be completely honest with you. Like, I think that's his role, right? I think that's his role. But to be real with you, I think that throughout these playoffs, you're gonna need Donovan Wilson to really like get in the run fit, even if it's run blitzing. You're gonna need him to kind of. You're gonna have to send some type of 5-man pressures and make these OCs and these quarterbacks figure it out and get out of and check out of some things, because I don't think that you could just play forward out lineman and just react. I think Donovan, instead of sending those backers all the time, I think that Donovan has a really good feel for how to fit the run. I think he has a really good feel for how to fit the run. Um, I think that J-Ron's biggest attribute is what he's doing in coverage. But I just think that Donovan, he's such a ferocious player. Like, you want his presence felt on the football field. You don't want it, you need his presence felt on the football field. So that'll be interesting there. Seeing what they do with the middle of that defense. Our guys like J-Ron, Dono, obviously our linebackers, they're gonna have to because Tom will take intermediate. He'll take it all the way down the field. He's gonna take exactly what you give him. All right, let's get to the back end, and I'm gonna let you guys enjoy your Saturday. This has been a good live stream, guys. Make sure you guys are liking, sharing, and subscribing. What a good Saturday to watch ball. I actually want to talk to you guys about the other games. We'll talk about like some upsets and who we'd rather play, and who we want to play. And then, guys, Monday night, we're not gonna overthink this thing, dog. We're gonna go out there and play football. Open the drive. We can go out there and punch these folks in the mouth. Straight up. Like, go take what's yours. I love Mike McCarthy showing these guys their baby picture and saying, dog, like, this is what happened 26 years ago. You guys weren't even born. Y'all have nothing to do with this. Go make your legacy felt. Like, that's real. Mike has done some things this year that I really like. Like, that's a dope way to get players inspired. Like, what? Like, come on, man. Like, that's fire. Thanks, Captain America. But hey, Captain America, we're not done yet. Thanks for telling me it's a great show. But hey, Captain America, we got time. And then listen, Captain America, after this show, you can go save the world. Don't you got a new movie coming out, Captain America? So, back in. Let's get to the elephant in the room. And I knew this was going to take the most time. This is why I was glad to kind of like. I'm not glad. This is why I wanted to save the back end. But we got to talk about it. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, 2,000-yard receivers. Got to play football, y'all. Like, are there going to be some big catches and plays? Yes, there will be. It's, we play a lot of cover one. We play a lot of man. We play a lot of cover three. We rob a lot. We robber. So we'll have those, those safeties lurking over the middle of the field. We'll have those backers lurking over the middle of the field. We're not going to stay in a lot of zone looks. We just don't run a lot of middle of the field open to safety looks. That's just not what we do. And so in that, shout out to you. Shout out to everybody, man, in the chat. Shout out to you from Lubbock, Texas. Shout out to my man from New Mexico. If you're in here from Hawaii, whatever state you're from, shout out to you. Even the Eagles fans in here trolling, shout out to them too. But Dallas, it just, that was like a Rod Marinelli thing where he's going to run at Tampa 2. He'll have those backers flying down the middle of the field. That's what Rod did. Bend but don't break. Keep everything in front of you. And you get down to the 30 and we'll bend. And we'll tighten up. That's not what Dan Quinn wants to do. He wants to attack. He wants to tackle. And he's done a great job. Dan Quinn's done a great job. There's been times where it's gotten goofy, but at the end of the day, oh wow, from Canada, Louisiana, that's dope. The Canada music scene is hard. Um, Shout out to everybody in Canada. Shout out to everybody in Cali. Cali music scene is hard. Cali, G Funk, Arizona, Louisiana. I got family in Louisiana. I got family in Church Point. We international, baby. Rob Marinelli. Let me see. Why am I talking about Rob? Dan Quinn. That's what he's gonna do. GA. Shout out to you, Kofi, Georgia. They playing some good football in Georgia, especially youth. Youth football is crazy in Georgia. Shout out to y'all. Minnesota. I hope you're not too cold out there. St. Louis, Maine. Oh, wow, Maine. I got folks listening from Maine. I made it, mama. Quinn. No, I don't want to say that Quinn has been failing. We're not going to do that, y'all. Quinn, let's not say Quinn has been failing. I just want to say that, like, players, that's why I tweeted this. I said that the players really have to execute. Chicago 757, good football play down in 757. Virginia, 7 cities in Virginia. They play great athletes in the 757. Yeah, like to me, Dan Quinn is who he is as a DC, and these guys know the defense. I think what's happening is these athletes really need to, like, we got to execute better. You know, we have to execute better. We haven't executed well enough, and that's an issue. And I think what's happening is when we don't execute on offense or defense, the first thing we want to do is the coaches. But like, we got to be real. Like, it's times when I'm looking at bad effort. It's times when I'm looking at bad technique. That's not coaching, y'all. That's just bad defense. That's, missed tackles. So, wow, that's what's up, Brandon Boyce. All my family is in Beaumont, Texas. All my family's in Beaumont. That's where my dad is from. That's why I'm a Cowboys fan. Texas, I'm in DC right now, but that's why I'm a Cowboys fan. We got to execute. And so to me, when we look at this back end, and this is what I went on a 10-minute rant. I'm sorry, guys. When we look at this back end, right, and we now talk about how we stop Mike Evans, Godwin, even Russell Gage isn't like, he's a nice little player. To me, shout out to DC in the building. Love the DMV. Oh, wow. Beaumont in here strong. Y'all went to Lamar? Beaumont, man. I could go for a Zumo sausage right now. Gumbo. I go crabbing and fishing when I go home to Beaumont. There's something about Beaumont, Texas, man. Our back end. Like, to me, y'all, I'm not going to lie to y'all. Like, this is a great, so I really think that Nahshon Wright is a good matchup for Mike Evans. The problem is I think that Godwin will probably give Diggs issues if Diggs couldn't get his hands on Godwin because he's a speed guy. But like Evans is takes him a long time to get going. But I think that Wright's length would bother Evans. I low-key want to see Nahshon Wright play because I think all of these corners are going to get beat, but it's like, who's not going to give up touchdowns? And I think that Nahshon Wright is the one who I'm like, dog, like, he's the only one who hasn't just gotten a real shot. right? I think that I've been seeing a lot in the comments, and I do believe that, like, a Hooker, like, you're a former first round pick, like, you're gonna have to keep eyes on cornerback too, and make sure that nothing goofy happens on that side of the ball. Um, and see, the problem with playing nickel is this, and I know that there's people who, well, let's play nickel, let's just put a bunch of DBs on the field, let's just double team. Well, you still got to fit the run game, and you still need certain athletes out there that can fit the run. So that's where it gets tricky, because you start putting 12, 20 DBs on the field, well, they're just going to run the ball and they're going to run it downhill. So that's where it gets tricky. Everything you give up something when you got certain personnel, and that's, and they're, you know what, and they may not be running the ball well, but that doesn't mean that, even like, so Dallas hasn't ran the ball well over probably like the last 5 games. You still have to run the ball. You get what I'm saying? You still have to run the ball. And I think that Byron Leftwich is a good enough OC that's what he'll do. Bingo. Can't fall asleep. Can't fall asleep. So I think it's, with these DBs, it's gonna be tricky. But you know what? I think that we'll give up some plays, and I just have a feeling that we'll make some plays. Now, what would be so great is if Jordan Lewis wasn't hurt. I even thought about, man, I know he's so young that you just can't do it right now, but I just thought about, man, you know what? Like, Marquise Bell has some slot experience. Israel McQuamu has some at least some corner experience. Like, let's put Bland on the outside and be done with it. We're done with it. Like, so I've said this for a while. DaRon Bland is your outside corner moving forward. In the future, like, he's your guy on the edge. DaRon Bland, Fresno State, 5th round pick. That's your corner. Your 2 corners moving forward for the future, like for the future, like when you're gonna be like a championship, like a real championship defense. Like, we're close, but like when we really want to become that defense, we're close, but like our offense still has, I think, a little bit more juice than our defense. Even though Micah, Diggs, and the whole 9, like, we're one more year away. It's going to be Bland and Diggs for sure, and you're gonna have to draft a slot guy or figure out something in the slot. But like, DaRon Bland is, there's not a, I don't. I've said this before. I don't know if Diggs is playing better DB than Bland this year. Like, he's him. Like, he's the goods, bro. Like, you know what makes him the goods? You know what makes DaRon Bland so good is the fact that he wants to tackle. The fact that he wants to tackle. Oh no, I know. Listen, I know that he's in the slot for a reason, because with him being in the slot, like, he's erasing guys in the slot. But him on the outside, like, you could draft a slot in the 3rd, maybe the 4th round, and you'll be okay. You could get what you kind of want in free agency in the slot. But like those edge corners, like, no. But I think that you give him a whole offseason and say, hey, DaRon, you did everything that we need you to do. Now I want you to know that you are going to be our edge corner. And I think that that's what it's going to be. But like, just knowing just how he tackles, bro, like, that's what turns me up. Like, this dude wants to tackle. He wants to hit you. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. So, but long story short, it'll be interesting to see. I don't think that you'll see Mullen get the tick that he got. Like, Mullen got a lot of clock this last week. I didn't like that. I think that was part of Dan Quinn saying, we're trying some things out. We want to see cool. And me being in DC, like, I tweeted after the game, I'm like, dog, I'm done with this team. 100% we're gonna lose. I was upset. I'm not gonna lie to you. I live in DC. I got to deal with it all the time. still the fandom. And so, me being in DC, it's like, but then you kind of come back to life. Now, we have about 15 minutes left in this live stream, but we may go over. But I got a special guest. Can everybody give me a drum roll emoji? Y'all know it's a drum roll emoji on your phone. Well, I don't know if y'all on the computer, but everybody give me a drum roll emoji. Because this brother right here, hey, this brother right here, dog. If we don't get drum roll emojis, I can't bring them out. I can't do it. If I don't see all drum rolls in the chat, nope, I can't bring them in. I can't do it. I'm telling you. Nope. I don't see enough drums. There we go. You see enough drums? I don't see enough drums. Guess I got to do it myself. Everybody, give a warm welcome to Mr. Law Nation.
What's up, man? What's good with you, man?
He's not always there when you call. He's always on time.
Yes,
Mr.
indeed.
Nation. Wow.
What's good with you?
Now, this is the beautiful thing. As soon as Law joined the live stream, look at the views. Hey. Law Nation, how are you?
And man, I'm well, man. We in the playoffs, man. Let's get it. I heard you talking about DB, man. I said, I had to finish it up. I said, let me hurry up and get in on here, man. Had to put on my uniform, man. You know how I go.
and you know what, Law? People was asking for you. And I'm like, man, I hope he could jump on. But I know Law's a busy guy. He's a busy dude, y'all. So just the fact that he even took his time, that means the world to me. And y'all don't know, like, me and Law go back 5-6 years in, man. And
before the beard, right?
Before the beard. And what's so dope is we've actually been starting to do more lives together because he's always working. I'm always working. So it's amazing. Law, I'm gonna jump right in now. You got the show, homie. Law, what are we doing on the back end against Tampa? I know you've been dialed in. What is Law Nation doing on the back end against this team, sir?
Man, I would not play hero ball. I heard you talking about Malik Hooker. We need him to stay on top of the roof, make sure he's secure. DB2, but that's all we need for him to do. The fascinating thing is about DaRon Bland. When you was talking about him, he can play inside and outside. But when we was in Oxnard, he played primarily only on the outside. So it's been a phenomenal look to see him do what he's doing this season or this past season. And nickel is everything. And that Jordan Lewis injury hurt us more than the Anthony Brown injury because we could literally live with Jordan Lewis's of the world's inside and have Bland on the outside because I think that he is probably I'm not going to say that he's better than Trayvon Diggs as ball skills, but he's in the next row, man. He's right there with him.
Dude, Law, I've said that I wanted everybody to just give a round of applause for just how this front office is drafted and how we get what we get out of these guys at such a young age.
Right.
It's quite incredible. And you're going to need them. Let me ask you this, Law. With LVE coming back, what are we doing with our linebackers? This is it. This is it, right, Law? Like, there's no more experimenting. What are we doing, Law? Talk to me.
Well, it's going to be LVE and then Damone. I think those will be your two starting linebacker. We play so much big nickel, and we just got to get Anthony Barr. Even Anthony Barr had 1.5 good games. His first good game was that Cincinnati Bengals tape. You look at that and you say, "Oh, we got us a real one," and then he disappeared. And all through the year, we was looking at Anthony Barr, and we was like, even though a lot of people were taking the SHIT on LVE, we were still sitting there looking at it like,
I know, right?
He's a little bit better than Anthony.
It's amazing how that run defense look when LVE out the game.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. But to be fair to LVE, we all was banging on the table when we looked at his scouting tape and said he will be a guy that flourish if he can keep his pad levels low and keep his pads clean. Meaning, if you got somebody in front of him, maybe he can do the hook to flat. He's good in coverage, and we would see that type of LVE. But we never really had any dogs up front.
Right.
To be fair,
and that's an off-season conversation that I think that, you know, I said this. I was thinking about this the other day, Law. I said Dallas is not going to be big spenders in free agency. No, we don't think. But
right?
I said this. I said that if this is a big if, right?
Yeah.
If you wanted to break the bank on a player, I think it would be Daron Payne. I think that what he can do in setting the anchor with the athletes that we have and the defense that we want to run, I think that would be the type of player to get your defense from a like. I think that we have a good enough, like you have everything you need to win, but like to make it just crazy, you get a guy like Daron Payne in who you don't know, because even like with Philly and with Jordan Davis, yes, he's been good, and you know these types of things he's made, you know, but it's still been like, you get a guy like Payne in who's been like an undeniable just load. I think that's the part where it starts to get fun, Law.
Yeah. Those are the areas where it do get fun when you start talking about a Deron or Quentin Williams or somebody like that. I mean, if we look at how we utilizing Parsons, right? He'll fit perfectly in the 3-4 system, but by us playing big nickel and Parsons dealing on with taking on bigger and bigger people as relates to trying to fabricate pressure, it's difficult for us to see Parsons elevate his game to the level that we want to see him at. So that's why I would love for us to go 3-4. I would love for us to figure that out, but that could be a lot of wholesale changes, right? You would need bigger linebackers, more athletic linebackers, and you would need bigger guys down inside the trenches. But the quick way to put the Band-Aid over that would be just go ahead and get a dominant guy inside. I know we probably would like to see that out of the draft, but let's be real, man. It's a hit or miss, right? So I would rather go with a known commodity like a Payne or Quentin Williams or someone like that. But let me ask you this.
Yes, sir.
With the 32nd pick, the Cowboys select Porter, Joey Porter Jr. Now, what would you like in the draft? Because I know you've been looking at these DBs, man. Because we got to, at this point, either look at a DB or comb through the free agency and just insert another guy, because we know for sure we can't hang our tent on Xavier Rhodes. He's 33 years already, right, of age. We can't sit there and say, all right, cool, we good with Nahshon Wright. I like him. I heard what you were saying about him. But what gets me, I like him on vertical routes. I still don't like him on end cutting and those breaking routes, because his hips,
routes is scary.
Because his hips he's fast, but his hips is a little stiff. What you like to go with?
You know, the name you said, Law, you doing some homework now with Joey Porter Jr. He's been a guy that I follow since high school. And then obviously at Penn State, he's just been a complete stud. You know, to me, I said this, Law, before we even talk athletes. I've said that, hey, is DaRon Bland your outside corner next year for the future? That's what we don't know. A guy who I think that will probably be out of our range, but one of my favorite just players is Brian Branch. Now, and that's the DB from Alabama. Now, is he a corner? Is he a nickel? I just think he's a great football player. And give me a bunch of those guys. He can play corner. He can also come up and bang you. Give me a bunch of those type of athletes, and then I can figure it out. And I will figure out the rest of it. I think that Joey Porter Jr. is a name.
Ringo, we won't have a chance, right?
No. Well, so the interesting thing about Kelee Ringo is, if you really get to his tape, Law, he's had some struggles now.
Right.
There's a kid, right, that nobody's talking about right now, but I think as the process goes on, there's a kid, Christian Gonzalez from Oregon.
Okay.
That is as the process goes along, Oregon puts good DBs in the league, right?
Yeah.
Right, Law?
So
And
so
so,
far, yeah.
yeah, right.
Mhm.
Miami drafted one that we were going to take a few years ago. I just believe that DB and see, this draft is so funny.
Yeah.
It's DB heavy, receiver not so much. Max Melton from Rutgers. So there's a lot of guys.
And then you gotta sit back and wait for the hype machine, the combine, and the pro
There you
days.
go.
The hype machine. The underwear Olympics. Hey man, this dude ran a 4.3. Let's see, because that's the thing is, even with Ringo, you want to know, is he really a 4.3 guy, or what is he? He's big. He's big. We can see that. But how did he perform on the 3-cone? How did he perform on change of direction? Look, let's see if he can do this and that. So those are things that we're gonna have to all sit back and wait. And that's why cornerbacks are the most intriguing spots. Them and wide receivers,
Yeah,
coming out of the draft. They're intriguing.
And I'm gonna tell you where you're gonna be drafting at. So the beautiful thing about this team,
I said the 32nd pick. You hear me?
Yeah, exactly. So now you got to think about DBs. I think are going to fly off the board. There's a lot of good ones. Law. Obviously, you want those quarterbacks to go. It's a few good tight ends. What is receiver and what is? I'm gonna say this. Dallas is not going to draft a defensive tackle high. They just don't do it. And so we know this. You know this. What about linebacker? There's a kid, Jack Campbell, that plays for Iowa. And I'm just like, I know we drafted Damone Clark, but if we want to just let Micah Parsons just rush, and I think that's what Micah, if you just want to, and then you start talking about that 3-4, you start talking about just letting him be a stand-up DN.
Right. Just go ahead and peel it off and let him be a Von Miller. Let him be a Khalil Mack. Let him be a TJ Watt. Just go ahead and do it, because I don't like it being fabricated right now. It don't look like it's working for the long run.
I'm gonna tell you. Let Micah put some weight on. I don't think he'll lose his quickness, and just let him, like you said, let him just be that guy. Law. Let him just go get on the edge. But anyway, linebacker and receiver now start to get interesting, right?
Yeah.
Right. SMU has a receiver that I love, and so it's listen. Draft, and I told myself I like Jordan Addison from USC. Draft talk, because it's so clear that
I thought you were gonna yell out Jalen Hyatt, but keep going.
I like Hyatt now. Listen, Hyatt can fly. It's so obvious what Dallas needs. They need a fast
receiver. Not long in the tooth. Just go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off. But see, before we get into this, and this is why the conversation, I know we're gonna talk about the playoffs and what have you, but I'm just with this belief. If the Cowboys go ahead and pull the trigger on a known commodity and say bump that first round draft pick, what about a DK Metcalf? What if they should have did something to go get a DJ Moore, a known commodity, somewhere where we can look back at and say they're not too old, but they already been around. We know what they can bring to the table. We got CeeDee Lamb, first team All-Pro CeeDee Lamb, because any of these wide receivers like a Quentin Johnson or Jalen or what have you, they gonna still have to go through their growing pains, right?
No, yeah, I completely agree. And I want to give a shout out. JC, I meant to shout you out. We got caught up in this draft talk. We started going crazy once we started talking draft. But shout out to my homie JC Cowboys Network. You guys go follow him. Really solid dude. He's getting his YouTube thing going, and he's doing a great job with it. Now, let me say this, and he's talking about Jordan Addison. I completely agree. If you tell me you put DJ Moore on this team opposite CeeDee Lamb, let's go play football. Let's go play football. And it's clear. Law, I'm watching the game, and I'm watching Michael Gallup can't separate, and I'm watching Noah Brown can't separate. And I'm watching, teams, and this is what's going to happen. We told y'all at the beginning of the year, we said, hey, by the way, CD is a true number one, and he's now proved that. Second team All-Pro. There's nothing else that can be said about CeeDee Lamb.
No.
But now teams know that. And so what teams are going to do is say, okay, Michael Gallup, you beat me. Okay, Noah Brown, you beat me. And so I think that you do need to get a number two that could play off of CeeDee Lamb and I think that you'll be good to go. You can get it in the draft, depending on where you're drafting at, like you said, or bump that first round pick. If you're telling me that we're picking 32nd because we just won a Super Bowl and we want to get better, bump that first round pick. Let's keep getting better. Because you know what? I will give Philly credit. They had Devonta Smith.
Right.
But they said, you know what? We're going to go get A.J. Brown and make sure that there's no way that Jalen Hurts can fail. Now, he's going to fail against Dallas because we're going to beat them.
Right.
But the point is, let's make it super easy. Dak is out here throwing to, like, let's be honest, bro. Noah Brown he's not an outside receiver. He can't run. He can't run.
He can't, man. Yeah, trying to make him a premier guy. I think that Noah Brown is great. I'm gonna say this. I think he's great at the fourth option. He's great at the fourth option. I'm talking about a guy that's kind of like, hey, he can block. He can surprise you with a drag route, or he can surprise you with a
you forget about him.
Yeah. If you hit him underneath, he can surprise you, and that's what I want to see out of him. But outside of that, I don't want to depend on him as his number 2 or number 3. And just because we've seen him do that doesn't mean that he's going to consistently do that. If that can make any sense out of it,
he lost you a game.
Yeah,
I mean, Kelvin Joseph lost you a game, and like people want to ask, why does draft profiles and all that type of stuff matter? Well, it matters. Focus, the not being able to catch the ball. Dak put the ball right there. People want to talk about interceptions. Nobody's harder on Dak than me, but like some of this stuff, hey, like let's make the play for your quarterback. Let's make him right sometimes. Because what A.J. Brown will do is, I don't think that Jalen Hurts is very accurate. I know he's not. But like he can throw it up to A.J. Brown and he's gonna post somebody up, or he's gonna, and I think that CeeDee Lamb is stamped that this is his team. And so he's doing his job. But like at a point, you need somebody else. And like, so here's my thing about Jalen Tolbert. I want to give him an offseason. I'm not throwing Jalen Tolbert in the trash. I'm not gonna do that because I stood on a table for Tolbert. But I want to give him an offseason to say, and you still draft a guy, right? Like you still draft a guy, Law.
But hold on. This is the thing. On the high end, Jalen Tolbert can be, let's say, a poor man's Michael Gallup, right? On the high end.
Yes.
But on the low end, he can be another Simi Fehoko. You know what I'm saying? So that's where we at right now with Jalen Tolbert. So give me a known commodity, man. Go ahead, cut your losses. Go ahead and cut your losses, Cowboy Nation. I know y'all don't want to do it. But if D-Hop is there and he's saying, okay, I'm willing to play for $20 million, and I know D-Hop, how old is D-Hop? He's kind of long in the tooth too. Bring him in. Hello. Bring him in.
I think that
don't play around with it.
D-Hop would do. It's clear that like that infrastructure in Arizona is just out of control.
Right.
And they don't have a leader at quarterback. I think that D-Hop would love playing with Dak Prescott. A quarterback who's going to take accountability. You're not going to have to beg him to get in the playbook and all that type of stuff. I think that he would love to play with Dak Prescott. And I think that him and CeeDee, that just wouldn't be fair. And I think that Dallas may, because they do draft so well, I think that they may need to pull the plug on one of these on a stud free agent.
And you know how they can do that? Find the teams that gonna have those new coaches. New coaches equals new philosophy. They not in love with the players. So not just D-Hop. I'll be looking at. I'll be flirting. You talking about flirting? I'll be flirting with Buda Baker. I'm just being real. If you feel like your team is 1 or 2 players away, then do that. Now, I get it. A lot of people are furious, angry and furious and frustrated. That's a better way to say it, at Dak Prescott. But he's going to be here for at least 2 more seasons. His contract states that.
Dak isn't going anywhere, and he's going to have, listen, Dak is going to have a long playoff run this year. I think that Dallas is going to do great this year. People got to understand this about this quarterback stuff, right? And I was one as well. Like, Is Brock Purdy better than Dak Prescott? Absolutely not.
Nope.
Brock Purdy looks like he's playing great football right now. Gee, I wonder why. Oh, San Francisco's done a great job building the team.
Yeah.
Like, And that's an outlier, I guess, but not really. Like when you build the team and you build the scheme and everybody's on one accord and they know how they want to play, well, guess
Right.
what? You could just plug Mr. Irrelevant in there.
Mm-hmm.
And like there's
Yeah.
a lot of incompetency, there's a lot of incompetent front offices. I don't think that this is one. I don't think that this is a front office that's incompetent. Now they could do some things better, but are they incompetent? No. You would be a fool to move on from Dak Prescott, knowing that Dallas is never going to be drafting in the top 10, Law. We're never going to be drafting
Never.
one.
Never.
So what are you getting that's going to get you closer to what you, unless you just stink for a year, and this fan base will never let you go 0-19 or 0 whatever.
Right.
Like, let's be honest.
It won't.
No, it won't. And so what you do is you fix the team.
Go ahead.
No,
yeah, go ahead.
You know,
no. Good. My phone over here breaking up. I'm back.
You know, you fix the team and then you go from there. Law Nation, everybody. Law Nation. Law. This D-line versus this Tampa, transitioning back to this Tampa game. What are you thinking about this Tampa run game and how we're going to stop them? Shout out to everybody in the chat box. Law has made this show. He's taking this show over the top as he does. What are you thinking?
Well, with this Tampa, with their front, their offensive line, what they're going to try to do is everything is going to get out quick. They're going to try to play the quick game. They're going to play the underneath. They're going to look back at the first game and they say, oh, they won via running the ball. Trust and believe they're going to run the ball. Law, do you have any information, any details of that? Yeah. The last time we lost to in the playoff beyond the 49ers game, the LA Rams game. You remember that?
Yeah.
CJ, we wasn't worried about CJ Anderson. We wasn't worried about Todd Gurley and those boys. Todd Gurley had some type of injury that he was lingering with. And the Rams that year wasn't even running the ball. But all of a sudden, playoff time came. They looked back at that coach tape. They looked back because the coach gave them a blueprint on how to beat us. They said, you know what? Run the ball. So I'm quite sure Tom Brady, in all of his infinite wisdom, he's going to try to run the ball to open up the pass. What we got to do is take that away from him. We got to score early and often, and our defensive guys on our front. We're going to have a big game out of Jonathan Hankins in order for us to win this game. We got to have a big game out of Big Bo. Those are the two guys that's going to be down inside to push that pocket back to also stop the run. If we stop the run, make Tom Brady one-dimensional, we have a stronger chance of winning this game.
Man, I love what you're saying, Law Nation. I think, one of the things that I found in watching their film, I went back and watched about 3 games, and I think that Dallas will win this game, and I think that we'll win it by about 7 to 8 points. What we have to do, Law, is you need to get Tampa Bay to 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8. You want, because Tom wants to play the quick game. He wants a quick game. He wants to get the ball out quick. And so when they do try to run the ball, you need to squeeze the run. You need to choke the run. And I think that that's where, because they want to get that vertical passing game going, but if the run game isn't a threat, then the passing game and the play action stuff that Tom, because even what you'll notice is even when Tom goes play action, he's still looking to get the ball out quick, even with the play action stuff. And so Tom isn't an athlete. He's not going to create off script. So I just think, like you're saying, Hankins has to have a game. And the game could be, he doesn't really even have to, he just got to eat up blocks.
Right.
He has to eat up blocks and he has to get in running lanes, and I think that he will.
Well, who's your starting 4 on the defense, front 4?
Ooh. Depends on that. Well, first down.
I know it's depending on down and out because I
would probably go Osa at the 3, Hankins at the 1. You could pick whatever. Obviously D-Law.
Okay.
I don't know if I would start Micah at end. Law, what are you doing? What do you think? I would probably start one of our. For the life of me, I don't know why on rundowns we don't play Chauncey Golston, Law, who I've been calling for all year. He had the big game against Washington.
He did.
I mean, I would just put Mike as an off-ball player on early downs. That's just me.
On early down because see, the thing is chess, right?
Right.
So I see Tom will see you in personnel and he won't let you get out of it. He would do the
That's
hurry up
true.
offense,
Yeah.
That joker, he said, "Oh, you got a light body? I'm gonna work with that." And he already have like, most quarterbacks would probably have 2 or 3 plays they could feed off of. Tom probably got 15. Because he's been here for forever, man. He's old enough to be most of the kids' father out there. So I would look at it like this: you got to create a world where you got D-Law out there, all plays. You got to create a world, even though he's youthful. I think that Sam Williams is better against the run than any of the guys like Doris Armstrong or whoever else that's out there on the opposite side. So somehow, man, we drafted this dude. He got to start now. Sam Williams and D-Law, those are my 2 bookends. And far as the interior, if we fool around and have Jonathan Hankins out there for the 4-3, Hankins and Osa.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I have to roll with that. And then when Hankins get tired, then I'm gonna have to say, Big Bo, your turn to get some.
Yeah, and you just eating those double teams up.
And then the second wave would be like Bo and Gallimore.
Yeah,
and Gallimore been a very big disappointment for me, man.
Yeah, it's almost just like you kind of forget he's on the team. And what Dallas will do, 4th round, 5th round, they'll draft another D tackle, and they'll probably, is what it is. But Law, for me, I just think that if Dallas can kind of follow that script of what you're saying and not that's a great point, what you said about not letting, you don't want to let them get a beat on personnel, because Tom will go tempo, and I think they're better when they are playing up. Yeah. The problem with that is if you get those 3 and outs and you put our offense back on the field, it could be an issue. I did offense the other day. This was a defensive show, but before we go, Law, anything that you want to see, what's your offensive game plan? Take your time with it, and then we're going to close out, and I thank you for it, man, for coming on.
No doubt. All right, so offensive game plan would be, hey, get Tony Pollard involved, right? I said earlier that I want the Kellen Moore and Dak Prescott to sit down in the room and say, hey, who are my playmakers? Who are my go-to guys? Well, it got to be CeeDee Lamb, first team All-Pro CeeDee Lamb. That's your number 1 guy. Your number 2 guy got to be Tony Pollard. His name is the playmaker for a reason. And I know that belongs to Michael Irvin, but shoot, Tony is a playmaker. That's your number 2 guy. Your number 3 guy got to be in this time, Dalton Schultz. Those are your 3 guys. Those are your 3 guys. Let me say again. CeeDee Lamb, Tony Pollard, and Schultz. Schultz is a sure hands catcher. Passer rating when targeting Schultz is still over 120. So you want to utilize him. Now, those are your 3 guys. Nevertheless, when we are inside our own 20 or when we close to the red zone, money zone, then you can insert Zeke. Zeke is still that battering ram. I think he brings a level of physicality. You got to make this a physical type of game. You got to run the ball to open up the pass. And I think that you got to play off the play action. Everybody else is ancillary. Kellen Moore. Yeah. Everybody else is ancillary. T.Y., I like what he brings to the table. Let him be your sure number 2. I don't want to see my guy Noah Brown as the number 2 option. I don't really want to see Gallup at this point. Let it be just like this, and y'all can shank me with the butter knife. Let it be CeeDee Lamb, T.Y., Gallup. Those are your 3, and then you insert my guy, Noah Brown. But get back to 13 personnel if possible so that this team, the Buccaneers, they really – look, they think that they're about their physicality, but they're not. Go back and watch the first game. We were averaging 5.2 yards per tote. It's just that we shied away from the run.
This is why I bring Law Nation on. He just gave you – we're getting the show. Like, he just gave y'all fire. And he's right, guys. I think that, I don't want to preach after the preacher. They say you don't do that at church. So what I'm going to do is we're going to leave it at that because I think that I'll raise my hand. I was very upset after the game. Reason why I'm in D.C., I just wanted Dallas to look a certain way. And I'll be honest with you, I think it was some gamesmanship there. Mike is a very calculated guy. I
Right.
think he said, "Hey, Kellen, don't show too much. Hey, let's." You know what showed me
Right.
that Law too? I'll be honest with you, was how much we played Trayvon Mullen. I said,
Right.
they're not trying to win this game,
Mm-hmm.
and so that's over with. Kind of like lackadaisical effort, and that's cool. I think Dak is going to really show people a lot, right?
Yeah.
Law,
Yeah.
I think that I just know that, like, for the last month, starting in the Jacksonville game, I said that Dak, actually the Green Bay game, Dak has been playing his best football. I don't know what's going on with the interceptions, but I really do believe that Four is playing his best football, and it's just been unlucky bounces. A few have been on him, Washington game on him. Okay, cool. But then a few have not. But the truth of the matter is, man, I really do feel like I feel like Dallas is gonna win, and I feel like it's gonna be like, wow, like where was this team at? And so give me your predictions, Law, and then we'll get out of here.
Okay, 28-24 Cowboys. I think that will be the final score. Just to piggyback off of what you just said about Dak, and I know you and Okoye, you guys been hard on Dak, and you're not a Dak apologist for those who are out there just watching. And I love it. This objective analysis. I think that a third of Dak Prescott interceptions came from the fact that these wide receivers, they hit him in the phalanges and they dropped it. And, he dropped it. And think about this. He broke his thumb week 1, right? He only played 3 quarters. He came back in midseason, and people were expecting him to be in midseason form, but he didn't play preseason. Right. And I know it sounds like bevies of excuses, but you have to understand, everybody, a broken thumb, that's the most important thumb on your hand. That's the most important phalange on your hand, your thumb. Right. So you break that, you're not going to be throwing it to the clips of like you were before. And on top of that, come on, man, you're in midseason. You can't be in midseason form. I don't know another quarterback who broken their thumb and came back and said, hey, I'm back in midseason form. Nah, it's just not going to happen. He's forcing things. He didn't have the preseason reps. The first few interceptions with CeeDee Lamb came from a miscommunication. They fixed that part up, thank God. And now the other few interceptions came from ball bouncing off the phalanges and Dak Prescott trying to force it to a Noah Brown. So that's just what it is.
Listen, Vach, good morning to you. Good morning to everybody. Good afternoon to those. Vach, are you going live today, Vach? I might just tap into your live. Are you getting it in today, or are you chilling? Vach, are you going live today? I mean, Law, are you going live? Sorry.
Oh, me. Oh, me. Yeah, no, I'm chilling. Chilling for a second. Oh, you were talking to me? I thought you were talking to Vach in the chat.
No. I thought I seen Vach in there, but it was a Vach burner account.
Oh, a burner account.
Hey, appreciate you, Law, are you? So you not doing nothing today?
I might do something a little later on. Now it's time to the honey-do list. I'm doing a honey-do list. You know what I mean?
That's important. I always say this, Law Nation, we got the best fans in the world, the smartest fans in the world. But I would be remiss to not say that we don't have the best content creators in the world. Law Nation, somebody who's inspired me. Law, where can they find you at?
Yes, you guys can find me at LAWS Nation. That's on multiple platforms like Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch, as well as I got 2 YouTube pages, Law Nation Sports. You'll see my face, name, or logo there when you type it into the search engines. I really appreciate you for having me on this beautiful platform, man.
Hey, listen, we are going to win this game. All right. We're going to win this game. I feel good. I was... my last week's live, we're gonna win this game. You gave some good nuggets, Law, and I just want to say thank you for having us on, guys. You guys can catch me on Twitter at FustaKing. Now, what are you doing game day, Law? Because I do know that you do a great game day. You do a great game day show and game day coverage. So, what are you doing? I want to make sure that the people are with you.
Well, I do pretty much on game day. I do 3 shows, 3 live streams, pre-game, and then I do the game play-by-play reactions and analysis, and then I do the post-game show. So that I would be pretty much busy on Monday. I can't stand Mondays because we be up into the wee hours. And hopefully, man, we had so many Victory Mondays that it will still be Victory Monday come this Monday on playoff time. So let's go. I'll be doing my best analysis, man, on that day. So let's get it.
Hey, let's get it, guys. Foots the King on Twitter and IG. Listen, we got 300 people on here. I'm gonna play some music that I made, and we're gonna get out of here, y'all. Listen, some good vibes on this Saturday. Listen, go clean up. Watch. I got San Fran. Who you got in the first game, Law?
Are they playing now? They finna kick off now.
They play at 4:30, so we got like 2 hours.
I'm gonna mess with my brother. I want the 49ers to win. This is what I'm predicting, fam. The Cowboys gonna win. We go play the 49ers. We go get our revenge back on the Niners. Hey. And then the Eagles versus the Giants win. And then now the Giants got to come to Dallas, baby. You know what I'm saying? And we go back for 07. We get our revenge on the Giants. And we go straight to the Super Bowl, baby. Dallas Cowboys versus Bills, man. Let's get it, baby. Boy, I love losing Super Bowl. You already know the rest of it, baby. Hey, come on.
We go smack the hell out of the Giants. Hey, if the Giants come to Dallas, I'm sorry, Daniel Jones. It's over. Much love to y'all. This some unreleased Foots and Codes. Y'all check us out. For Law Nation, I'm Foots the King. Peace.